Alright guys, I just want to talk a little bit about why it's going to be the Greater Depression. Because the market has not yet crashed, but I wouldn't be surprised if literally the Simpsons prediction came true and Ivanka Trump went in after he gets assassinated and the market tanks on an angle, just like the chart on the Simpsons, or relatively. What I mean is like a sort of not just straight up crash, but slow and steady. And I think that is what's going to happen as well. And it's in the background, even if we don't get that foreground view of that literal event happening, then it's happening in the background anyway, for sure. And you guys can all see it and feel it, right? It's a silent sort of depression as well, because again, not all the markets have crashed, but in China it has. But you know, you're usually waiting for the US Dow Jones to collapse, and you know, I just don't know where it's going. I think it's on its last peak now, and there'll be just another little up run, but then it's got nowhere to go from there. So I definitely see it crashing this year within a few months, I'd say, from now. So maybe around April or something this year, maybe in July, June, I don't know. But I think soon, and definitely this year, we should see like the actual market crashing. And obviously Australia and everywhere else will follow. But already, actually, the Chinese market is crashed, and they're having a hell of a time over in China. I've been watching a lot of China Observer channel, and they've got good, like, unbiased reporting, and it's pretty apocalyptic looking over there. So go check out those videos on that channel, because they'll be enlightening. Will open your eyes up to how good we've really got it here. Because even when we collapse, we don't have the sort of conditions that they do overseas. Even in our worst economic times, we won't. We've already like made the infrastructure too good, for instance, in Australia, you know. So whereas, you know, in a homeless state in another country, you really suffer. Here you don't. You can shower, stay clean, fed, everything. You know, I'm good. I can go surfing even. Just do all my employment stuff online. I mean, it's super easy. So, you know, mostly I'm talking about the rest of the world. Australians will be sort of buffered from this because everybody still wants to come here. The way we have stuff set up, we just will never crash so bad. The local setups and stuff as well. Many factors, but we're in a quite unique position here, I keep saying. But the rest of the world is, whenever I talk about apocalypse and stuff, it's happening out there. Go visit some of these countries, man. Like, it is just destitution. Some of them are not even there anymore. They're just all exploded, right, in wars. So it really is that bad, is what I'm saying. You're tripping. I'm not tripping. You need to go out there and have a look. But yeah, so what I was saying was, it's going to be like a greater depression, just because you're going to be depressed, because what we have in the world is a black alliance ruling. You know, everybody in power is a Heilig, a material person, right? And Heiligs are at the behest of their material world, which they're basically the infrastructure of. In other words, they don't have any foresight. They're at the behest of the material world. They have no foresight in it whatsoever. They can't seem to see these things coming even. You know, they're that dumb mass that's buying in right at the end of the market. You know what I mean? They live on a very superfluous social level. So it's not until the hive or the bunch or the majority feels the hit, which is going to be after the market crashes, right, near its bottom, not as it's crashing, or not before, like now, like me warning you with foresight, right? They can't do any of that. They're Hilux, and that's what we have around the world. And it's just on a larger scale, their myopia is myopia of the apocalypse in general. They just think maybe it's going to be like a market downturn. But remember, this is actually the start of like proper apocalypse, end of human history, all this. We've got the robots. I don't have to do the spiel. You should be awoken to this by now. Like, you should realize it, because it's in the air. It's every morning. You get woken up by an alarm, a little robotic assistant already. I mean, we see this shit forming around us, right? And the Hilux pushing it, right? Non-spiritual, they're just Hilux, they're just material beings, material people. And what I'm saying is this Black Alliance is in control, and all they're going to do is react incorrectly. We're going to have to break through it. It's going to be proper war. That's why I've said civil war worldwide, 2025. That rhymes, and you know it rhymed. No, but we can see it clearly coming down to this, like these wars of values and stuff, and people just protesting about every damn thing, right? Well, it's going to get way worse than that, because you're going to end up having to protest about your quality of life that you can barely survive, right? And again, this will be prevalent in like every other country but Australia, and it will still be here too. You know what I mean? So basically they bode for a smaller, denser, harder, falser reality, right? And they bolster illusions. And so obviously, you can point straight to government as, I mean, we all know this same shit, right? We can point straight to those type of people. They're the ones going to be trying to make the decisions. Oh, fluoro time. Yeah, it's just, you already know how it's going to be. Like, I should have predicted this even, you know what I mean? Ears on the Matrix, ears on my video in the fluoro. It's like, just every friggin' time I'm recording something important, you know what I mean? Pretty interesting. See, this is like council doing some planting of plants and weeding. Why don't they plant food plants, man? This is what I'm trying to say. This is a perfect example. This dude's like weeding like plants, but what they should be doing is planting food plants. You know what I mean? Because we've seen this coming for so long. Like, how many years have we seen food shortages and prices rising coming? You know what I mean? We've seen this shit coming decades out. So when everybody's starving in a few years and whinging, and the soils are depleted and, etc., all you can do is just laugh at them. But you can't even do that, because the rest of us are trapped by their design. That's what I'm trying to say. That's why it's going to be war. We've got to break out from under it, because we live under their thoughts, right? I want food everywhere. So clearly my thought's not implemented out there. If I was in the government, maybe by now it would have been. So do you see what I'm saying? It's going to be a war of ideologies, for sure. And they've got, robots coming with fucking arms that can, punch through your head. You know what I mean? They're metal. You have guns on them and everything. And what can we do then? So this is almost like the long foretold, revolution now. As soon as this market drops, I really think we're going to be in it. As soon as the Occidental culture, the markets drop for us, I think, it's just amazing. I was planning to talk here, and there's fluoro shirts here. I mean, anybody who knows my channel, check out the gang stalking. And yes, we have proof that they're waiting now, because I did not anticipate this at all. I wanted to stand here and talk. You see that? Fluoro fucking council workers. The bots. Anyway, so yeah, we're going into Greater Depression, basically the idea of this video, because of the organic portals. And it's also correlating with a soul harvest. So it seems then you would infer that it's designed. You see what I'm saying? And again, it's nothing too new to some people, but I think a lot of other people, they're starting to click into this with all these fires and all this. Right, you got Maui and LA fires looking suspicious, and people looking at weather anomalies. More ordinary people, let's say, that are still working jobs for the Black Alliance and empowering their captors. Yeah, it's funny, you know, you empower your captors. Like, that's how pathetic the situation is out there. That's why it's called the Black Alliance. Some of you don't even realize you're in it. Some are conscious of your role, some are not, and some are just like dilly-dagging along because they can't do anything for themselves. Some are just there because they're Hylics, and they definitely can't do anything for themselves. Some of us are just trapped by design, like me, and then there's gang stalking added onto it. So, suppression as well. So, yeah. I mean, all I can see is big war on every level. Like I said years ago in Uruguay, that's what's coming. Just war on every level. Every single level you can think of. Family, interrelated, racial, religious, whatever it is. Local beefs, just whatever. It's just war on every level because it's ideological. And ideology and your beliefs, right? And stuff like that. But yeah, all I wanted to say was that's why it's a greater depression, because it's silent. Like, when you actually have depression, you're quite silent about it. You see what I mean? So I'm not just talking economically, I mean just literally. It is the greater depression. Quite literally. And it's starting to set in. And then go check out my Apocalypse playlist. To boot. See what I'm saying? Like, the point is, like, you'll feel the depression of, you know, being in a depression. And already, for instance, it's hard to get a job. I've got a decent resume, worked in like every industry, and they still, you know, knocking me back in like every single job. And at the moment, I'm just told by everyone they don't need anyone at the moment because, you know, the market's starting to shrink. We're starting to recess already. But there's silent depression building in the background is what I'm saying. And as soon as the markets crash, it's going to be in the foreground. I just wanted to say why, because they can't make, the organic portals can't make correct decisions because they're spiritless humans, and we're actually going to have to come up against this soul, what's not soulful, and all that. Like, this is not a joke. We're literally going to have to sort through this through reality. Guess who's laughing? Guess the fluoros. Just as I said that, it's so funny, man. Like, the timing of this sort of stuff, you know, unbeknownst to everyone allegedly. You know what I mean? I find it hilarious, man. So yeah, it's basically because, like, it's a full-on fluoro attack. Oh man. Yeah, guys, you're like, don't do your lectures near a road, but this is the only place I can yell and not have the ears pick it up. And you want to avoid ears picking it up because it's just going to predict you. The AI is going to use these organic portals to, you know, play a game on you, basically. And that's what the whole apocalypse is too, by the way. And it'll extract a lot of soul out and everything.